Oh, what a great way to start the video, huh? It decided to start recording just as I started blowing my nose. Of course. Every time I sit down to record, my nose starts doing its thing. I'm sure y'all have noticed that by now, as many videos as we've done. Okay, so I've got another quiz thing today. Now, if it would just, start the quiz. Start quiz. Okay. Okay, I know who this is. Where do you recognize him from? I don't recognize him. A boy band on X Factor, One Direction. Are you for real? He's everywhere. That's Harry. Harry Styles from One Direction. Which, wasn't that a boy band on X Factor? Based on your age, you should recognize this insanely talented British babe from a few different places, or maybe not at all. Spent his teen years growing up in the spotlight, so it's not surprising that some people know him from his younger years. He's all over the place. I mean, 3 out of the 4 answers were... Because I'm pretty sure, wasn't One Direction on X Factor? British X Factor? I could be confused with something else, but they were on one of those type of shows. Dooby-dooby-dooby-doo. I clicked next. Any day now. Come on. The joys of having an old computer. When this photo hit the internet, you... ... Is that Rihanna? Although she looks extremely pregnant in this picture, so does she have a child? Am I thinking of the wrong person? Well, I can quite honestly say I have never seen this photo before now. Come on now. It's part of the problem with these things is they load up with so many ads. And it just slows everything down. So I click something and then it takes 6 years and 9 days. Huh. I had no idea that she was even pregnant, so I at least had the right person, right? But I didn't know she was preggy, and she looks very preggy in that picture. But I'd never seen it prior to now. So how can they guess my age if I say I haven't seen a photo? I could be any age and not have seen it. I mean, obviously, I'm not like a 20-something who's keeping up on all the trends and crap. Because I don't care about that stuff. I'm an old bitch. What is this young actress's name? Isn't it Amandla? I know I've seen the name before. I'm not sure who she is, but I'm going with that. Because I know I've seen the name before. Actor, activist from their recent role in The Hate U Give. I loved that. It was a great book, and I enjoyed the movie. I haven't watched the Hunger Games movies. I think it's Amandla. I think there is an L in her name. But here again, y'all probably know better than I do. Who is this man's super famous sister? Oh, is that Billie Eilish's brother? Quite honestly, I don't know who he is, but I think it's Billie Eilish's brother, because I know she, Seriously? You're giving us the freaking answer in your clue! He looked vaguely familiar, but he looks like the dude from Breaking Bad, which I never watched. But, you know, you see so many images over time. What is Kylie Jenner best known for? Being related to a Kardashian? Probably her cosmetics. But see, I wouldn't have recognized her, because I don't follow them. Yeah, Bruce Jenner's daughter, obviously, her last name's Jenner. And she's part of that Kardashian clan, so she would be known for keeping up. But I think she's probably better known for her cosmetic line. But I don't care. That's the thing. I really don't give two hoots about the Kardashian clan. I get tired of these people who are famous for being famous. I realize that, you know, they do some charitable stuff and what have you, but they're famous for being famous. They're famous for having famous parents. These two have celebrity parents. Who are they? You know, looks like John Legend. The faces, I see John Legend in their faces. So is it... Yeah, Chrissy Teigen and John Legend. That's got to be who they are. You see John Legend in their faces. Just completely see him. Diana Ross and Robert Ellis Silverstein. That would be Tracy Ellis Ross, and, you know, that's obviously not her. Who is this British megastar? Is that Millie Bobby Brown? She looks different every time I see her picture, so it's hard to recognize her. And I would recognize her more as 11. Did she play Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz? She may have. Millie Bobby Brown. At this rate, my brother will be here before I'm done with the quiz. He's expected to get here about 1, and it's 12:30 now. I thought he was coming last night, but I guess he had to work late, so whatever. What is this Aussie's name? I don't know, but he's got pretty eyes. Well, I'm going to guess that this one is wrong. But I have no idea. I'm drawn to this one. I'm going to guess his name is Troy. Yeah, that clue doesn't help me any. I've never heard of him. Where do you know Liza Koshy? Well, considering I've never heard of her. Yeah, whatever. I've never heard of her. But then again, like I said, I'm an old bitch. Show me some older actors. Instead of all these, like, current, new, up-and-coming people. How would you describe this woman? Well, considering I have no clue who she is, I'm going to say she's Meg Thee Stallion, since that's the only name they're giving me. College graduate, Grammy Award-winning artist is known by a few different names, but mostly for his insanely popular music that has taken over TikTok and the music charts at the same time. Pfft. Whatever. Don't know who that is. Okay, who is this world-famous athlete? That's Tanya Harding. And now they won't scroll. What the hell, computer? See, old bitch recognizes older celebrity types. I guess she's a celebrity since she was an Olympian, but whatever. This famous actress is known for her amazing career. Who is she? Well, it's not Audrey Hepburn. And I don't think it's Debbie Reynolds. So we're down to Carrie Fisher or Reese Witherspoon. Oh, easy, meeny, miny, mo. The outfit, especially that hat, makes me think it's from the 70s. And young in the 70s would have been Carrie Fisher. Who is this woman that dominated the media in the late 90s? Oh, that's, Monica Lewinsky. The woman from Hairspray, that's funny. I think she got a raw deal over all that mess. obviously, if the president's interested, you're gonna go for it, Okay, that's Jane Goodall. I thought that's who it was before I saw the names. But I wasn't sure if it was her or if it was Diane Fossey. Is that the other one who was working with the apes and things? That's Barbara Streisand. See, give me some older actors. People have been around a while. I could recognize them more often. Oh, stupid sinuses. We have rain coming in and set my sinuses off something fierce. I feel really bad about having to blow my nose constantly, but yeah, it is what it is. Where do you recognize Clint Eastwood from? I've seen Bridges of Madison County, and I've seen The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. I haven't seen Gran Torino, and I knew it wasn't Prince Philip. Especially when they said, where do you recognize Clint Eastwood from? Duh. Who do you know this famous celebrity couple as? Oh, that's Rhea Perlman and Danny DeVito. Didn't they get divorced? Technically, there's no wrong answer here. You could know this couple from a few different places, depending on how old you are. Morticia and Gomez Addams? When? When were they the Addams Family? Unless they did it as a voiceover for a cartoon, but I don't think it was them. Who is this rock star duo? Keith and Mick. I would have marked Rolling Stones, however, that's not all of the Rolling Stones, because Bill Wyman's not there, and sadly the late Charlie Watts isn't there. The Stones are more than just a duo. Which Laker dominated the NBA in the 80s? I don't know. Is that Kobe? Well, no, he was the 90s, wasn't he? Is that Magic Johnson? I don't think that's Magic Johnson, but I know it's not Michael Jordan or LeBron James. Doesn't look like Magic Johnson to me. But being the 80s, it must be, because Kobe, I'm pretty sure, was the 90s. Like late 90s into 2000s. Number 32. Doesn't mean diddly squat to me. Who are these music artists? I don't know. Doja Cat and French Montana, J. Cole and Kehlani, Saweetie and Quavo, Drake and Christina Aguilera. I know it's not Drake and Christina Aguilera. Out of the other three, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, I'm going to go with Doja Cat. I have no clue. The clue doesn't help me. I've heard the name Doja Cat and I've heard the name Saweetie. But I only recognize the name Saweetie because they did a McDonald's promotion and I was like, who the fuck is that? And nobody could tell me. Who is this groundbreaking female rocker? That is that Stevie Nicks? I mean, the face kind of looks like Stevie Nicks. Yeah, Stevie's awesome. She's a fave. But seeing her from the side like that is a little unusual. Usually when I see pictures of her, it's straight on. That's why I questioned it for a moment. What movie role do you most associate this woman with? Oh, is that? Oh, okay. Now I can see it. The hairstyle threw me. Well, don't remember her being in Jumanji. I never watched Bring It On. So, do I remember her more from Interview with the Vampire when she was a little girl, or from Spider-Man? I'm going to say Interview with the Vampire. She was just a little girl in that. If you remember her from that film, there's a good chance you're over 60. No, not quite. I'm an old bitch, but not that old. I imagine the bulk of people watching my videos are way younger than me. Cause I don't know, I just feel like a lot of the people who watch YouTube, participate in YouTube, are younger. Like my son is 22 and he's all over YouTube. And I think a lot of YouTube people, viewers, and content creators are younger like that. What are these two people's initials? Well, that's Zendaya. But I don't know who he is. So it doesn't look like Tom Holland from the Spider-Man movies. So is it whoever this TC is? Because I don't think that's Tom Holland. Tom Holland's British though, isn't he? Because it says they're American actors, so. These two grew up with famous siblings. Who were their celeb sibs? I think it's Miley's sister and the Jonas Brothers' brother. What do you know about Pierce Brosnan? I don't know if he was the male crush of my generation, but I sure had a crush on him. Still do, actually. I think he's a very handsome guy. And he has been in Too Many Things to Count, and yes, he was James Bond. I don't know who she is. Is that his current wife? I know his first wife, like, died of cancer or something. I'm going to say he's the male crush of my generation. Even though he's a bit older than me. I remember him from Remington Steele. That's my first association with Pierce Brosnan. Where do you recognize Jeff Goldblum from? Oh, good lord. Too Many Things to Count. Jurassic Park. He's been famous forever, hasn't he? Because he was well known before he was in Jurassic Park. I don't know what I saw him in first, but he's been around. And I love his ads for Raid Shadow Legends that I've seen recently online. How would you describe this man? That's Bill Gates, isn't it? Philanthropist, computer software engineer, billionaire, business mogul. I wouldn't say actor. Has he acted at all? That's Bill Gates, so it's one of these three. I knew him first as a computer dude from Microsoft, but he's a major philanthropist now because he's a billionaire business mogul. That's Miley. How do you know this legend is a rocker? From Hannah Montana. My son was obsessed with her. He was in love with Hannah Montana. Miley. So we got him all this crazy Hannah Montana crap when he was little, just because he was so obsessed. Who are these women? I think this one looks like Sharon Stone, but I'm not sure who she is. Is that Christina Aguilera? Either Sharon Stone is super tall or Christina Aguilera is really tiny. There's that height difference between the two. That's just crazy. La 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 la. Who is this man? Sidney Poitier. Very handsome legend. Bahamian American. I didn't know he was Bahamian. First black man to win an Oscar, which is phenomenal. Yeah, sad that he passed away earlier this year. This TV dad was a household name in the 90s. So that's Bob Saget. Also known as Danny Tanner. Who is this Hall of Fame hockey player? Is that Gretzky? Yeah, number 99, that's Gretzky. Also known as the Great One. I do enjoy hockey, but I don't know very many of the players by sight. Or by name, for that matter. Do you recognize this celeb couple? Is that Megan Fox? She looks pissed off, whoever she is. Who's that? The dude? Is that, what's his name? What's his name? Machine Gun Kelly? Is that who that is? We'll say I know at least one of the names, because I'm not entirely sure. But I think I know who they are. Okay, so this couple who like to drink each other's blood kind of reminds me of Billy Bob and, what was her name? Angelina. Because they exchange little vials of blood. Who's this famous Gen Zer? Not Cindy Crawford. And they don't. That doesn't look like Emma Roberts. So is it Kaya Gerber, who would be Cindy Crawford's daughter, or Emma Chamberlain that I've never heard of? Since they have Cindy Crawford as a name, I'm going to choose Kaya Gerber. Young supermodel thanks to her alias parents. She's a teenager. What is this famous singer-songwriter's background? Singing and songwriting? Well, that's, what's his name? Ed Sheeran? So he is... He's not Australian. I think Sheeran is an Irish name. Oh, UK. So that puts him either Scottish or Brit or English. Doesn't let you change it, huh? That sucks. What's the point of giving me a clue if you're not going to let me adjust my answer? This rocker is named after a popular or unpopular food. That's meatloaf. I knew that before even scrolling down far enough to see the choices. God, we're just past halfway. I mean, 60%? Gee whiz. Who are these men? Well, that's Sylvester Stallone. Is that Billy D. Williams? Or Carl Weathers? Gen Z actress. Brittany Snow, Sydney Sweeney, Amanda Seyfried. She's the girl from Euphoria. I don't know who that is. Never watched Euphoria, so is she from Euphoria? I guess she's the girl from Euphoria. It's 90s heart. Let's try that again. This 90s heartthrob actress is named... ... Oh, that's Meg Ryan. The 90s It Girl was a style icon, from her signature choppy blonde hair to her leather jackets and thin frame sunnies. She's a rom-com queen for a good decade, cemented her place. Yeah, she was in tons of rom-coms with Tom Hanks, and they were so good together. They really had chemistry. And she was married to... Was it Antonio Banderas that she married? I don't remember. She got, like, plastic surgery or something. She just doesn't look the same. Who is this Disney pop star actress? Must be Hilary Duff. Because that's not Jessica Simpson. We already answered Christina Aguilera, and we've already had Hannah Montana. Yeah, she's gonna do How I Met Your Mother, I'm pretty, or How I Met Your Father, whatever. How I Met whoever it was. How I Met Your Parent. What movie comes first to mind when you see Tom Hanks? Oh, I know. Is it gonna be a choice? Not a choice. Shoot. Um, I'm gonna say Forrest Gump because I was living in Savannah when that was being filmed. It's kind of annoying because my route to some of my classes, I had to change it and go way out of my way because they were filming in the one square. Which, by the way, the bench he's sitting on is not in the square that they say it's in. It doesn't exist. It was one that they brought in for the purposes of filming the movie, and it went away when the movie left. But I believe they put it in the museum at that time when the filming was finished. But it was not um, a bench that was actually part of the square that they were filming in. What does this man do? Not sure who that is. Okay, he must do nature documentaries because it says Audubon behind him. Is that Attenborough? Why is it opening something else? I didn't tell you to open something else. Come on, I'm trying to do a quiz, not look at other remote crap. Why does it have this need to open videos constantly? Good Lord. Is it any wonder these things take forever? David Attenborough. Okay, that's who that is. What do you like Gordon Ramsay in best? You know, he comes across as such a frickin' asshole, but really, he's a pretty funny guy. British chef restaurant. Well, he must be pretty good if he's got 16 combined Michelin stars. I've never watched any of his shows. I think my brother's here. I think I just heard his car door. What does this Gen Z woman do? Is that, Greta Thunberg or whatever her name is? Yeah. Hello. I'm in the middle of making... Oh, okay.
I was going to attempt to drop it off, but they don't have a slot in the door or anything.
Of course.
And of course, they're not open on Saturday.
Of course not.
After I drove past it. Does William know that there's a video game store in Pomeroy?
Yeah, up
back
Second
behind.
Chance or whatever.
Yeah, it's up back behind everything.
Yeah. Yes. The people who run it are very rude.
Oh, what a surprise.
I'm in the middle of making a video trying to do this quiz, and it's being really stupid. Let's see. Who is Meryl Streep to you? Miranda Priestley from The Devil Wears Prada. Yeah, I watched that. Oh. Donna from Mamma Mia. Sophie from Sophie's Choice. Was she in Sophie's Choice? I don't think I watched Sophie's Choice. I've seen Devil Wears Prada, but I know her more probably from Mamma Mia out of those choices. Okay, who are these three women? Come on. Come on. Come on. Yes, it's Beyonce and her backup dancers. Or as I say, Bay once. I'm not a Beyonce fan. I'm not. Tom Selleck starred as a detective on this show. He was Magnum. Oh yeah, he was absolutely Magnum. Who is this man? Okay, John Hatter was Napoleon Dynamite. Jesse Eisenberg, that's not him. Is that Michael Cera? I've not seen Molly's Game, so I wouldn't know. We're not terribly far from the end here. What is the best Christopher Walken film? The only one I know for sure he was in is The Deer Hunter. Was he in any of his others? I don't remember him being in any of the others. Of course, he pops up randomly all over the place. So I'm going to say Deer Hunter, because I don't remember him being in the others. This woman is a member of one of the world's best-selling rock bands. Who is she? We're doing Stevie Nicks again? Okay. I'm surprised they brought the same person back for a second question. Who is this actor from? Well, that's De Niro, and he's from all of those. He's an amazing, brilliant actor. The only one of those I haven't seen is Dirty Grandpa, because it just looks so stupid. I don't remember a whole lot about Taxi Driver or Raging Bull. I know Raging Bull, he's a boxer. Taxi Driver, obviously, is a taxi driver. And it had Jodie Foster. Niall Horan is best known for what? He's from One Direction. Well, I wouldn't know if he's a friend of a golfer, and I don't remember him being on Downton Abbey. Okay.
You have
What
a
is?
flashlight?
Yes.
Because it looks like I'm going to have to turn water off down in the basement, and I can't see where any of the pipes are. Thank you.
Yeah, I couldn't turn that thing to save my life.
I can't get it to turn either, and in my opinion, it's on the back side. It should have been on the front. It's been easier. Now,
Well, I mean, the guy that owned the house before Mom and Dad was a DIY guy.
now,
So stuff
mind
is...
you, I could put a pair of pliers on it and force it, but I'm not going to, because I don't want to have to do extra work.
Exactly.
Because
I lightly tapped it with a hammer, but I was like, if I hit it too hard, I'm going to break it, and then I'm going to have to call a plumber, and I can't afford a plumber. I have $5 in my checking account right now, so...
if I break it, it is me going to have to go to the hardware store and buy more plumbing parts. I did stop and get a seal for the toilet, because I figured you didn't have one to put a new toilet in.
I wouldn't know if there was one around here or not. I didn't buy one separate, so...
So,
I think there was one floating around here at one point. I never saw
Wow.
Dad take the toilet apart.
so I do have one.
Okay.
I stopped in Pomeroy and got one at that True Value.
Okay.
So at least that far ahead.
I figured if desperate, we can always run to wherever.
Yeah.
I have to work tonight. I was told last night that I'm scheduled to go in and work from midnight to 8.
Okay.
At least it's sleep time, so it's not like... There's a bowl of pasta salad in the fridge. It's like the...
Rotini.
Yeah, the swirly ones. The corkscrews. And it's got canned chicken, and it's got Parmesan garlic wing sauce on it. Which is, it's actually pretty good that way.
The cooler in from
Oh, yay. I still have a whole freezer full. But that's fine, because...
Some of it's garlic.
Ooh.
It's the east
I
of
have
Chicago.
connections.
East of Chicago with garlic.
Oh, east of Chicago. I don't think I've had their pizza
And,
yet.
the other one, I'm not sure. It was something where we found as a mistake. We were supposed to have a 20 ounce and these were 12 ounce. The stuff that was being ran after the 20 ounce was a 12 ounce sourdough. So I don't know if they're
That sourdough stuff you brought the last time was so
Yeah.
good.
The sourdough's good.
That was good. We used it a couple times for pizza crust. The problem is it kept wanting to pull itself back into a ball. Come on, no,
So,
spread out.
I don't know if it's the
But when I
regular
baked it as
dough or if
actual
it's the
bread,
sourdough.
when I baked it as actual bread, it was really good. Yeah, I have connections. My brother works for a company that makes pizza dough. So every so often, I get deliveries of pizza dough. And apparently, east of Chicago. That sounds good. I know they're a fairly popular chain. I've never tried them because we don't have them here. We don't have anything here.
It just happened to be that it was a box that looked short. Fell off the skin, upside down, dough balls all over the floor.
Well, you know, of
Side
course.
salad, she did good stuff.
Of course. Stuff like that always happens. Anyway. I'm almost done with this quiz. It wants me to know who these people are, and I'm like, I don't know. What is this Gen Z actress's name? I don't recognize her, so how would I know? It's not Natalie Portman. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I'm going to pick this just because I think it's an interesting name. Oh, good. Now it's going to think I know who she is. Because I guessed right. I like this boomer actor best in what film? That's, Liam Neeson. I liked him in Love Actually, and I liked him in Schindler's List. I think he really showed his talent more in Schindler's List. I haven't seen Taken, and I don't care about Star Wars, so I don't think I've seen him in any of those movies. Tell us which of these celebs you recognize and we'll guess your age with creepy accuracy. Yes, that's the quiz. I'm reading the wrong line. What sport did this American athlete compete in? Is she a skier? Skiing or soccer? Is that Lindsey Vonn? I want to say she's a skier. Yep, Lindsey Vonn. Guess the right one. Hard to tell considering you usually see her with, like, goggles and stuff. Alicia Keys is known for... She's a singer. Sandra Bullock is best known for which film? All of these? Probably should have marked The Blind Side because that's the one she got the Oscar for. George Clooney. Again, in all of those things, probably best known for ER. If you watched him on TV, what Anne Hathaway film do you like best? I thought she was phenomenal in Les Mis. Was she in The Witches? Oh, maybe she's in the remake of The Witches. I liked her in Princess Diaries, too. What do you like Lady Gaga best for? I like both of those songs, and I like A Star Is Born. I haven't seen House of Gucci. And of course, I'm trying to think of the songs, and Bad Romance is the one that pops into my head. But she was really good in A Star Is Born. Congrats, you finished. Here are your results. Baby boomer generation. Wrong! I'm not that old! I'm a Gen X. I'm only 50. Turned 50 back in May. I'm only 50. Your guesses suggest you're a regular old baby boomer. Your generation was responsible for raising Gen X and even some millennials, which means you've been exposed to a wide range of celebs. It's way too hard to keep up with the famous youth of today, so you didn't exactly score high when it came to recognizing young celebrities like Billie Eilish and Amanda Stenberg. But I got Amanda Stenberg right, and I got Billie Eilish's brother right. But you crushed it when it came to the celebs from your own generation. You didn't show celebs from my generation! You showed me boomers, and you showed me millennials and Zs. You didn't show me X's. Just because I like to watch movies and have a broad range of tastes, would you count like Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks as a Gen X celeb, even though they are, because that's when their movies were popular? They were highly popular like in the 80s and early 90s, which is when we were growing up watching that stuff. Is that what they're considering a Gen X? Because I wouldn't do that. They're older than me, so that puts them boomer. Oops. Wrong! Okay, so they're wrong. Now I can close off this stupid quiz. I gotta stop doing these quizzes, man. Because they're never right. It's like that Disney one we did yesterday. Absolutely not accurate for me because they only offered you 4 choices. Why is this being stupid now? Come on. It's not letting me do it. I hope that this video wasn't a complete waste and that it's actually a video, because now it's all froze up. Okay, I'm going to try to stop recording. So, remember to do all the YouTube things, comment, like, share, subscribe. Do the quiz if you want to. I'll try to remember to leave the... Oh, I closed it, didn't I? I may not be able to give you the link. Well, if I can give you the link, I'll give you the link. I'm also going to put the donation information for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. If you could, please donate. It's a good cause. The research is absolutely necessary. And this is a weird ass video. Anyway, we will see you in the next one. Remember to comment, like, share, subscribe, ring the bell icon, blah, blah.